Okay, welcome back to my shop. Take two. This is Gil. Here I am back in Old Jefferson in my shop slash barn with my latest acquisition. This is Jenny, my 1926 Model T Ford touring car. I just purchased her. She was just delivered Friday morning from a huge workshop of a mechanic slash boat builder in Lafitte who needed the space for his other projects. She spent, before living in his shop for the past 10 years, she spent about 50 years in a barn at a farm in Mississippi. I'm now the fourth owner. As you can see, she needs a good bit of work, but she's all there. We've got original wooden spoke wheels. Again, it's 1926 Model T, so it's not a whole lot different from a carriage. I'm sure you've seen these in Laurel and Hardy movies where they destroyed a lot of them. In fact, that's what I did the night before I bought it. I stayed up half the night watching Laurel and Hardy movies. Helpmates was a really good one for Model Ts. I'm going to go ahead and put her eyes on so you can see that there's life in her. And here we go. Let there be light. Can you imagine yourself tooling down a country road back in the 1920s, going to a barn dance? The funny thing about this car is that when I first bought this place, again, I mentioned it in the previous videos, the place belonged to an old French couple who came here in the 1920s right after the First World War. And when I was cleaning out and tearing down an old sort of a chicken coop slash animal stall that was next to the barn, I found all these funny looking little rusty tools. I had no idea what they were, aside from strangely designed, specific built tools. Take a look at this wrench. But I found them and I saved them, and then when I started doing research on Model Ts, I found that these were apparently the original tools that came with the Model T. Now there are a couple of sets here mixed in with each other, but from what I can gather from Leontine's diaries, apparently her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rico, owned a Model T back in the 1920s. So I guess this was just bound to happen. I gotta let you know what's going on with Buddy. He apparently sees some sort of a critter down there. I don't know what it is. When we pulled those blocks out earlier this morning, he was fascinated by that particular block, and it was all stuffed full of wood shavings. So somebody built a nest in there, and he's still after it. Say hello, Buddy. Buddy? There you go. Okay. Good boy. You go back to work. I'll be keeping you posted as this thing progresses. She may take a few months to get started, maybe a few years, who knows. She's just going to be in my shop, being worked on and loved as long as she needs, till she's roadworthy again. My first order of business is to replace the tires and the inner tubes, and also to restore the wooden spoke wheels. I'm going to strip the red paint off, and I'm going to just put a nice natural finish, which I've seen a lot of the T's done that way. Eventually I'll replace the convertible top. I've got the original bows that held up the top. They're sort of over here in the corner. And the original seat springs are inside underneath these pieces of canvas. Here's another funny thing. This is another artifact that I found when I was cleaning out the chicken coops. This Ugahorn. Say hello, Ugahorn. And it was here all this time, and strangely enough it fits right here on the Model T. Model Ts came with sometimes with an accessory electric horn, or you could have one, a mechanical horn mounted like this on a door post. Some models of Model A's later on had vacuum powered horns that were attached to the carburetor. So I believe this was meant to be. I'll be posted. I'm really excited about this, and This will just be my first video. Again, please bear with me. I'm not a professional filmmaker, but I thought you might be interested to see this old girl back out of hiding and ready to get a new lease on life. So far, I haven't been able to find any flubber to power her with. If I do find some flubber, I'll be flying through the skies with Fred McMurray. Otherwise, I'll have to get the old gasoline engine working. She's got an electric starter on the floor, and if the battery is weak, you can always crank start her right here. Always remember to crank start it with your left hand, not wrapping your thumb around it, because if it kicks back, it'll tear your whole thumb off. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you for joining me, and have a good day. Bye-bye.